As someone who always feels tired from sitting down for hours, I had to find a solution to help me with my productivity. I have trouble falling asleep in the middle of my work, especially because I work the night shift. The solution that came to mind is a standing desk. But for a desk of that hefty price, you'd have to justify buying one. Nonetheless, I bought one, and now I want to talk about my experience using it for more than a month now and let you know if it's worth it or if it's a big waste of your money.
You already know what it is, how it works. I'm not gonna talk about stuff like that and what brand to buy, what's a good brand, what's a terrible brand. It's not like that. It's not really a review of a specific standing desk. It's more about should you get one? Is it worth it? And who are the people that should be getting it? Yeah, so I got one a month ago. So it's been a month of me using the standing desk, and I wanted to talk about whether or not I think it's worth it, especially because it's a pretty expensive buy, especially for a desk, for a table. So the reason I got one is because of my work. I work as a video editor and my shift is at night because I work for a company abroad. So I live in the Philippines, but the company I work for is in the United States. So I think it's like a 15 hour difference. So I work around 11 p.m. My shift ends 7 a.m. Because of that schedule, my body has to adjust. This is my first time ever working in this schedule. It was really hard for me to stay productive, especially because, it's my body hasn't adapted. Even like 3 months into my work, I still haven't fully adopted. My body is still adjusting. I get sleepy, I get tired in the middle of my shift. So while I'm editing, I start dozing off, and then there are days where I would wake up 30 minutes later or maybe an hour later and not noticing that I've wasted an hour of not doing anything because I fell asleep. So that's the main reason I wanted to get a standing desk. I thought that it would help with that problem because I would be able to work while standing up. Found a local brand. It's called Arc Ergonomics here in the Philippines. I bought one. I got it, I think, a week later. After a month, here I am making this video about how it all ended up with, like, how the whole standing desk is working out. Yeah, mainly I use it when I'm working, especially when I'm feeling that I'm gonna start to get sleepy, like when the coffee is not working because I'm just way too tired. I do work while I'm standing. That's the main time that I use it in work. But sometimes when I'm playing games, also would adjust the desk. I don't know, when I'm really invested to the game, I want to lock in, I stand up. I don't know, it just helps me focus. I think the main thing with the standing part of the standing desk is it helps me focus when I'm standing up, because when I'm sitting down, especially when I'm using my other chair, because this is not the chair that I use. This is like a stool with a back rest. So this is for, like, you can't really relax that much in the chair that I'm sitting at right now. But when I'm using the other chair, it's very comfortable. I could recline as far as I can and then start working like that, and then start falling asleep or just relaxing way too much. So it helps me focus to stand up because my body is upright. Those are the main times I use it. I don't ever use it if I'm just like watching anything. Like, so it's mainly for work. Sometimes, very rarely, I use it when I'm playing games. But I also use it not just sitting or standing. I have like a secondary, a tertiary mode where I raise it up just a little bit, and then I use this tool, and then I raise up this tool to be higher. So it acts like a high chair. It's not as high as a high chair because my feet are still touching the ground. So it's like I have a sitting, I have a standing, and I have something in the middle, like a high chair setting. The reason I do that is because I've found that when you're standing up, I think with a standing desk, I'm starting to feel pain or soreness in my knees. I don't know, maybe I'm just getting older. Hopefully, I don't have. It's not like an underlying health problem. It starts to get uncomfortable for me after maybe 15 minutes. So that's why I decided to find a third setting, the high chair setting, and that's been working out for me. I think with a standing, there's something I want to try where I think I want to find those like board, like the balancing board things. I don't know if you see that. I'll put up like a video or like an image of what that looks like. Not just with the knees, but like with the bottom of my feet would start hurting. Like maybe if I had like comfortable slippers or slides, it would help me. But the thing with the standing board, I think that would help me use the standing mode longer. I think just standing up is awkward for extended periods of time. So unless I'm like using I think the balancing board, or I'm also thinking maybe a walking pad, I think that would also help as well. But simply just standing up, it's not comfortable after like 15 minutes, at least for me. All of this is all my experience. I don't know if it's exactly the same with other people. So if it's different for me or if it's the same with you, please do let me know. Just comment it down below. So because I want to hear what your stories are with standing desk and what your solutions are for the problems that I'm having. I've been standing less ever since I've used the high chair, like in the middle option, because that helps me for a long period of time. I can do that for like maybe a couple of hours. It doesn't get tiring and it helps, especially with like posture. I think that's a plus with both standing and the high chair. You don't slouch. So that's something that I think is really helpful with a height adjustable desk. I didn't rely on it as much as I thought I would the first time before I bought it, because I thought before, I probably would be standing up half of the time, but nah, it doesn't. I don't stand up for longer than 15 minutes. But the high chair setting is really helpful. It's very helpful with productivity, especially because I think it also probably would depend on the chair that you're using. I think that's something that I could look into in the future if there's a better chair that would help me with productivity, but that wouldn't restrict me to, I have to always be propped up, like I will be able to relax. I think maybe that's something that I could look into the future. I think the chair does play a part with productivity, but mainly the height adjusting is a big plus. So the big question is, for this whole video is, was it worth it? Because this desk from Ergonomics in Philippine pesos, it's with shipping, it's around 21,000 pesos. That is roughly $350 US. That's a pretty expensive buy for a table. I think you'd have to justify buying a table at that price, and I think this is justifiable. In my opinion, I don't think everyone needs to get a standing desk. If you don't have issues with just using a regular desk sitting down, I don't think you have to. It's not like everyone has to get the standing desk because it's so helpful. I'd say it's worth it, especially if you can afford it. If you can afford it, don't spend all of your money on the desk, even if you really need something to help you with your productivity. There are other ways to help you with productivity. As I said a while ago, I think of just finding an ideal chair. A good chair would probably help you a lot. It would depend if you can afford it and if productivity is something that you have issues with, if you've tried other options and you don't see anything working out. I think a standing desk would help. Part of that is probably at least get a chair that would let you adjust the height so that you can do the in the middle option, the high chair setting option. Because I feel like people won't really use the standing part of a standing desk for prolonged periods of time. I feel like it's not just me. Maybe other people will be able to use it for more than 15 minutes. I don't think people would comfortably use it for longer than maybe 30 minutes. So I think in the middle option, in the middle setting is the best. And if you're getting a standing desk, I would also recommend getting a chair where you can adjust its height. Before I end the video, just a few additional stuff. For the one I got, I don't have issues with stability. It doesn't like rock. I think that's what people are scared of when they're thinking about buying a standing desk, because a lot of people, when I was searching online, a lot of people were talking about how they're scared to buy a standing desk because of the stability or how much it would move if it's in standing position. So just make sure you find one where the legs are thicker. Ideally, you'll find one where like maybe there's a support connecting those legs. Look for one where the legs aren't thin, because that would like be an issue with stability, especially with standing up. It might be too hard for you to move your mouse around and type if it's moving around, if your desk is moving around a lot. But it's not as scary as people make it out to be. There are good standing desks where that isn't the issue. So you just have to find those. Last thing that I'm mentioning, but definitely not the least important, it's actually one of the more important ones, is the fact that you have to think about the future. Future proofing is very important with a standing desk because of how expensive it is, especially and with how often you're going to be using it. It's scary to have a standing desk just stop working, especially if it's in an awkward position. Like if it's standing and like the height is maxed out and then it stopped working, like you can't adjust that anymore, then you're screwed. You'd have to use your desk standing for the rest of its lifetime or until you replace it, because you're probably gonna have to replace it unless you find one with good warranty. The one I got has 2 years worth of warranty on the legs itself. So if it has issues with height adjustment, then I have 2 years where I don't have to worry about that, because I'll be able to go back to the company and then let them take care of it. But other than just warranty, just the fact that you buy a desk that is manufactured locally, I think that's very important. If you buy a desk online and it's shipped from a different country, you're gonna have issues with finding parts in the future if you have to fix your desk. So for example, 5 years from now, like maybe 3 years from now, when the legs have issues already, and I know it's not gonna cover warranty anymore, I can still go back to the company, to ARC Ergonomics, and get parts from them. I can still buy replaceable parts from them if I start having issues. That's a really big thing you have to think about. I don't know why I'm saying this last, but this is just something that's really important for you to think about. So that's what I think about the standing desk. We'll see what I feel about it maybe in the future. Maybe I'll make a video in a year's time, see if it actually still is being used as a standing desk by then. But I think I probably would still be using it. If you're still here, this part, I think probably mean that you like this video. If you like it, please do leave a like. This is my first video in this channel. So I think the future of this channel is gonna be tech and gadgets that help me with my activity or just cool things that I would like to add to my desk. So if you want to see more of those in the future, please do subscribe. I think my next one might be an ultra wide, because that's also something that I think would really help, especially with my work with video editing. Probably will be purchasing in the near future because Black Friday is coming up. So I'll see what type of sales I'll be able to get with an ultra wide. So if you want to see that in the future, please do subscribe. Let's see what other things that I can add to my desk, because there's a lot. I like tech, I like cool gadgets. So if you like that, maybe you'll like this channel. So that's it. Thanks so much. See you next time. Peace. Bye-bye.